Good morning.
Good
Thank
morning.
you so much for doing this with me. I appreciate your time and all the work that we've done together this year.
You're welcome. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Well, let's just dive right in with the questions. So, can you share this morning what your role was in our collaborative team, and maybe what was our collaborative team?
Okay, so our collaborative team, or I call it our ILT team, is just the leadership team as you as the bilingual specialist, ESL elementary for the district. My role as instructional coach, our assistant principal, and our second grade teachers, and our reading interventionist.
Awesome.
That was our collaborative team this year.
Okay, and then what? So you said you're the instructional coach.
Yes.
Okay, on the team. Excellent. So as we were working together, how would you say each team member contributed to the task at hand? Remembering that our task was to really focus and address the lack of strong phonological awareness skills that we saw, particularly in second grade. We were really trying to create an intervention strategy for that. So again, could you just talk for a moment about how each team member contributed
Okay,
to
so
that process?
after we received our MAP scores, we saw a huge need because of the low phonological awareness skills. And when we came together as a collaborative team, each role was different, but our goal was the same, which was to increase those skills. So the teachers, their role was to do Heggerty lessons during Tier 2 time and progress monitor. Heggerty is a program that our district has as far as increasing phonological skills in K through 1 and second grade on some campuses. Our reading interventionist, their role was to facilitate the Heggerty training and model a lesson during our PLC for teachers. Our assistant principal role was to develop a plan just based on those low scores. Our AP, after our initial PLC, when we came together as a collaborative team, she made a schedule where she did walkthroughs and facilitated the PLCs through open-ended questions and just kind of progress monitored through teacher feedback, how it's been going and how is their comfort level in implementing Heggerty.
Awesome.
And
Yes.
facilitator, which is you.
Yes.
Your role pretty much was just to bring this team together after you identified the need, and you facilitated MAP fluency data for us. You did an awesome presentation, just kind of opened our eyes to show us how reading scores ties into the phonological awareness, and just kind of created this whole schedule and created a plan for us to increase those scores. And my role as an IC this year was more of a learning role because this is my first year of working with K through 2 and learning Heggerty, but going through classrooms and providing feedbacks through the walkthroughs to the teachers, just to let them know from my viewpoint what I see in the classroom, how Heggerty is working.
That's awesome. So it really served as an opportunity for you to learn and grow right along with the teachers.
Absolutely. I was like a student during your presentation when you first kind of introduced how the reading scores tied into phonological skills. And I was amazed because my eyes were open because I came from upper elementary and not lower elementary. So it just kind of helped me get a huge scope on just how much those phonological skills and the foundational skills are so important. So just being a part of this collaborative team really helped me and really just kind of got my mind thinking, oh, next year, this is what I can do. Here's how I can contribute. So just the plan was so important and how you facilitated it. I was just like a little kid in a classroom.
Aww.
So
it was exciting to watch. It was exciting to watch how all of the pieces came together.
Yes.
And how, like, our reading interventionist, she came in with an idea to really supplement the small groups that were happening in the classroom with that phonics instruction. And then we added the Hegarty, which really was the AP's idea.
Yes.
I need to give her all the credit. She's like, no, well, this could be a piece that we use. And then, how you and I supported by doing the walkthroughs along with the AP. It just, it was really exciting as, a facilitator for the first time to bring everybody together.
Yes.
And like you said, walk through the process and learn. And I think next year, it's going to be an amazing place to start, and we know what to look for.
Yes, and we have the data to just kind of, as a starting point, beginning, hit the ground running on day one.
Yeah. And I think we had an eye-opening moment too, even last week at our kindergarten PLC.
Yes.
When we were looking at MAP fluency scores, and one of the teachers didn't even know what the MAP fluency report was.
Wow.
So that, that just showed again the need to continue to really focus on those foundational reading skills and make sure that the teachers have the tools they need and the training, and it's good. We're in a good place.
Absolutely.
I don't know, did we address number 4? What did you learn as you worked through the team? I think you did a little bit, but maybe if you wanted to expand on that.
Yes. I just learned.
Maybe this leg right here.
Okay. So what I learned really from just going in classrooms with the Hegarty program, just when we started as a collaborative team and it was introduced to the second grade team, our reading specialist kind of a short introduction and modeled a lesson. And so the game plan was to go in and for the teachers to just begin doing it. What we saw in PLC versus what I saw in the classroom was kind of different. So my first assumption was, oh, they're just not doing it. They didn't see the need to do it, or they just can't fit it in with time. But just after speaking to some of the teachers and going in and staying, instead of 10 minutes, staying in 20 minutes, I learned, oh, well, they just haven't internalized it. They really are, there's still some understanding that they need to implement it for the time period that they're doing it. So it's not that they didn't want to, this is my reflection process, it's not that they didn't want to do it, but starting anything new is going to take time, it's going to take practice. So maybe we just needed more PLCs to talk about it a little bit more. So when we go into the classrooms, we can see them implementing it with more ease versus, some of the uncomfortableness that I saw going in. So that's my reflection process of it. Maybe not doing it one PLC and then they go and do it, but just progress monitor and talk about it. Maybe even the reading interventionist coming in weekly until they feel more comfortable in doing it.
I think that's an important reflection. As instructional leaders on the campus, it's really easy to say, I showed you what to do, go do it.
Yes.
But we have to remember, I guess now you're helping me even understand and remember that teachers are just like our students. We have the I do, we do, you do, and sometimes they need more I do, sometimes they need more we do, and sometimes you release and then you're like, oh, let's bring them back a little bit.
Yes.
So that's a very important reflection.
Yes.
I think that's going to help us. So continuing to think about that, I want you to continue to reflect on your own professional growth. And I know you've mentioned this was your first experience this year in K2. But maybe if you'd like to share just a little bit more about your experience as we went through the collaborative process and your professional growth.
So my professional growth, and I can hold this up for us. Hold it up for us. So my professional growth with it was, I immediately identified the need I needed because we didn't know about the phonological awareness until we saw our MAP scores. So I immediately, after your training, just sort of reached out to my principal and said, hey, I need a little bit more MAP training. So I went to a MAP conference and learned quite a few things about MAP. I didn't really get to, I went to a short session on fluency that gave me just enough about the reports. My principal, he went to more of a MAP fluency to understand like the phonological awareness. So I got a better understanding of what the reports of the phonological awareness skills, that they're there, because of course I didn't even know about the MAP fluency, like that particular skill. There were reports on that. So just going to the conference, I've learned various reports. I'm still in the learning process of how to read those reports, knowing that how it based the kids, with kids knowing interventions. I mean, it's just a whole array of things that I don't know, but I've learned about the reports, and I'm still going to learn because I've reached out to some other instructional coaches in the district that are more fluent in MAP fluency than I am, and I'm still growing in that area. So
That's awesome. And I think as I reflect on what you're saying is that we're stronger together.
yes,
Right? We need
absolutely.
to recognize when we don't know something or when we need some more help. It's important to reach out to
Yes.
others.
Yes. And so if I'm going to help teachers, I need to know about the phonological awareness skills. So it was up to me to identify that need. And I did the best I could as far as getting the resources I could so I can bring it back to some teachers and go in with an eye on what am I looking at to identify, are they doing the right, are they doing the things that they need to do at the teacher table to increase for those phonological awareness skills.
Well, you did a great job this year.
Oh,
We're
thank
so
you.
thankful that
Thank
you're here at the school and a part of the team, and you were willing to work with me on this project. And
Oh.
I very much appreciate that. So let's, as we kind of conclude, what do you think we did well as a team, and maybe what could we have improved on?
Okay, so as a team, I think first thing that we did well, beginning with you, was identifying the need. The collaborative team coming together, the teachers, the AP, the reading interventionist, having PLCs, having that rich dialogue and progress monitoring, having conversation, our AP facilitating PLCs, and asking teachers those open-ended questions to just sort of, just feel the temperature on how it's going. I think what we can improve on is, like you said, starting from day one, using the data what we have, and getting more training integrity. So having more PLCs where the interventionist comes with model lessons, have a Q&A where the teachers can ask questions, and as an ILT team or leadership team, as you, me, and the AP goes in, we can let the teachers know during PLC, this is what we're going to come to the classroom and look for.
Yeah.
And based on that feedback, come back to the PLC and discuss what we saw in the classroom. So I just think processes like that will help us grow as a team, and not just extending it. We started at second grade, but like you said, kinder, they were just kind of not in the know of some of the MAP fluency reports and just extended it K first and two, and not just second grade.
And I think that you said something very important, and that it's important that as a leadership team, we provide that observation and feedback.
Yes.
And that accountability. Because we can talk about it once, but then if there's not follow-up, then oftentimes it doesn't happen.
Yes.
So I think that's a good reflection
and
too.
I think it's so much power in when we go in, they know what we're looking for.
Yes.
So we talked about it in PLC. Here comes our team. They're not going in as a gotcha, but this is how we can improve. Let's just talk about what we saw. So
that's awesome. Well, again, thank you for all your work this year.
You're welcome.
You had
It was
a
my
good year.
pleasure. It was. I learned so much about, because coming from upper elementary, just seeing how important phonological skills and phonics and how it's tied to reading, it just kind of opened my eyes to all the other subjects, as far as how can that reading, how can we do this in math, and how it just all ties down to the basic foundational skills. So
Yes, because we talked about how like basic numeracy is like basic fun, fun. I remember that conversation.
Yes.
That's a good reflection. I had forgotten about that. So, well, awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.